Talk about culture because culture, if we don't recognize that it does have some toxic traits in it, if we fail to recognize that, then we are going to blur it in with Islam, and it's not going to really have a trajectory for the later generation if we are going to make it all blurred into one. So talking about how toxic it is needed. So I'm not here to like offend anybody about their particular culture. I'm here to attack the way that it is toxic and the way that it spreads in our day-to-day lives. So when I looked at the definition of culture, it basically states that there is language, arts, beliefs, rules that members of a community have that make their societal environment more meaningful. So when you look at the definition, when I see the words beliefs and rules, and when you look at culture in personal observation, culture has a lot to do with people pleasing. It has to do with whatever your like grandparents or parents feel comfortable with is kind of how a lot of us make decisions. And so when you're looking at cultural practices, you're looking at trying to maintain people's perception of you. If we ultimately were to look at it, let's say for example like a walima, and your parents are forcing you to do like a mendi, or they're forcing you to wear a red dress, or there are certain other practices that are being done. Those options that our parents are forcing on us, these are how culture seeps into us, and it's because we want to keep them happy, and we want to keep their public face also happy because they're presenting themselves at the wedding, and so they want other people to know that we're doing what our ancestors do, right? And then also like the element of the couple, they're kind of in this position where yes and no is quite hard to do, but in Islam it provides that easy yes or no decision. But with culture, it allows for that yes and no to be quite hard to do. And so I just wanted to talk about that one element of culture that could be toxic, which is the people pleasing element. And there's other things, for example, that culture resides in a nafs basis. It only focuses on our nafs. It doesn't further society in the way that Islam does. Islam has allowed for a very concrete way to spread, and it is what's it called? It's to finish it off. Islam operates from an objective source that is not emotional or nafs base like culture does. And so when you're looking at spreading Islam, an average person can more likely accept obviously Islam due to the reason that it is very simple in nature, that it is logically rationalized, and it furthers society. Basically it can carry on through books, through obviously an objective source like the Quran, and so you have a trajectory that can last forever, whereas culture, language, art fades. Understanding the emotional and at times manipulative part of culture, that's still trying to manipulate people ultimately at times. But all you I'm talking about toxicity of culture. I'm not talking about all of it. So I just wanted to put that out there. In this series, it is really trying to preserve Islam, talking about culture in that way. So like racism, nationalism, also things that are blurred, and like that's the point of addressing these in this series. So I hope to continue, inshallah.